Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. A viral illness in China known as the human metapneumovirus is causing concern due to its similarities with the COVID-19 outbreak. Government says it's keeping a close eye on developments on the respiratory virus.
Flashback.
No, God, please, no! 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 No!
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and we've got Coof Part 2. That's right, the American media is already pushing out non-stop panic content, telling you this is the big one. Doctors are warning the cases of HMPV is ravaging China and is now doubled in the US. Do you ever notice how many diseases start there? I'm just saying, for a country that's so superior to the United States, it seems like every major disease in the past 20 years has originated there. It seems like that. It's probably not true, okay? We know that the last lockdowns were a result of, China. And now we've got a new lockdown. Bird flu didn't work. They tried to scare you with bird flu. Now it's a new take. Now it's something new to be afraid of. Absolutely bonkers. Let's get into this story. Quick word from Aura. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Look, have you ever Googled yourself? I mean, this is a product that I actually use, so it's the easiest read ever. Have you ever Googled yourself, a family member, or a loved one, and been shocked to see how much personal information is out there publicly? Maybe it was an old address, a phone number, or other details you didn't expect to find. What surprised you the most? Or how did it make you feel knowing anyone could find this information and see it? I think Aura is the perfect solution for this. Aura is a piece of software, or it's a service that you sign up for that has amazing services like data broker opt-out, identity theft protection. It monitors your personal data, including your social security number. Remember when all of our social security numbers leaked? Right? And then it removes this stuff. It has financial fraud protection. It even has a VPN, antivirus, password manager. It has literally everything, all in one app. You get alerts within minutes if somebody's looking at your credit file, right to your phone. Every adult, up to 5, gets $1 million in identity theft insurance to help cover eligible losses and fees, with a total of $5 million in coverage should the worst happen. Aura is an incredible app, software, service, and I use it. I pay for it. I love it. You can get all this for one affordable price. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches and brokers, which seem to be happening every day now. And if you don't want either, go to aura.com/thequartering. Try 2 weeks for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal information is exposed. There you go. So get that. At least take the 2-week trial and see how much they find. I was blown away. Doctors warning as cases of HMPV virus ravaging China now double in the US. Did it double from 1 to 2? Western experts have publicly called on China to be more transparent about a viral outbreak overwhelming its hospitals, as data shows the virus is now growing in the US. Beijing has downplayed footage of overcrowded waiting rooms and wards posted on social media, saying respiratory infections are, quote, less severe and smaller scale compared to last year. Does all this sound familiar to you? That has led to some fear that there are similarities with the current situation and the Coof outbreak in 2019, which also was initially downplayed by China. It is thought China's outbreak is being fueled by a relatively unknown virus, human metapneumovirus, which is normally causes cold-like symptoms, such as blocked nose, headache, shivering, and tiredness. Dr. Sanjaya Senanayake, infectious disease expert, associate professor of medicine at the Australian National University, said it is vital for China to share its data on outbreak in a timely manner, including data about who's getting infected. Yet we need genomic data confirming HMPV is the culprit and that there isn't any significant mutations of concern. Such geomnemonic data will also help guide more jab development. Got to get another jab in your arm, folks. Got to get a new jab. Now, according to the CDC, under 300 positive results reported during the last week in December, the latest figures available. The US CDC said it is close monitoring the cases in China, but believes they are not currently a cause for concern in the United States. Anybody else getting weird, creepy, feedback or flashbacks to 2019? Of course, here you go. You see a rapid rise in infections. Chinese hospitals facing a surge of patients with respiratory viruses. This doesn't look great. This looks pretty busy to me. Now, maybe it's not dissimilar from, say, a clinic in New York. I don't know. I live out in the suburbs. If there's more than 5 people in the clinic, it seems busy. He added that HMPV is a common part of winter cold, causing viruses in most countries. It's not usual to be a high center of concern for a high number of hospitalizations, but it's unclear just how high the numbers are, or if issues are arising purely due to coinciding with high flu and COOF levels. HMPV first emerged back in 2001 and typically causes symptoms of the common cold. Now, I don't know about you guys or how your family was over Christmas, but there was some sort of flu that was just, maybe it was just in the Midwest. Basically, everybody knew somebody who just wasn't at Christmas because they got sick. They were on the toilet nonstop. Now, I don't think that lines up with whatever this is, but there is some sort of flu that's going around, if it's norovirus or whatever they call it. There's some sort of virus going around in America, especially during the holidays. It actually made me really rethink how much time I spent at these family gatherings. And let me tell you why. Now, this is going to sound cold, but it's not that I don't like seeing family. It's not that I don't like being in a large group of people who are, in a small confined space. I don't care about that. I care that year after year, people are bringing their sick kids or they're sick themselves. This is like the 3rd year in a row that I'm at a Christmas party and there's at least one sick person there. And it's like, dude, you're an adult, or you're a parent, you brought your sick kid. Like, so now everyone else has to get sick because little Timmy has to see grandpa on Christmas and can't go see grandpa the week after Christmas. I'm sick of it. Like, it's totally selfish. Is that cruel? Maybe I'm getting cruel in my old age. I don't know. But like, I'm so sick of it. Like, now at Christmas when I go, I have to stay away from everybody. And I'm like washing my hands constantly. It's no fun for me because I can't get sick because I work every day of the year. So like, I just think if your kid is sick, just don't bring them to Christmas. It's pretty simple. Anyway, rant over. The Chinese CDC has now urged people to take precautions like hand washing. Why aren't you doing that anyway? But has pushed back against claims that hospitals are overwhelmed. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said respiratory infections tend to peak during the winter season. That's true. That is true. Now, again, this looks pretty busy to me. It looks pretty busy to me when you've got people with IVs in waiting rooms. You know? Telltale symptoms. Oh, it's the same as the COOF? Then look at the articles already writing. HMPV, bird flu, norovirus. What should the U.S. be most worried about? How about none of it? Maybe if we closed our borders down a little tighter, we'd have less of these things floating. I doubt they'd float across the sea. It's like back in the plague days, did you see Nosferatu? Like plague boats, those were a real thing. Like a plague boat crashes on shore, and then that's how the plague got in their city. Wiped out 70% of the people. That's like how this is. We have like plague boats, but they're in the form of airplanes. And they're coming here from China full of sick people. And that's how their virus is getting here. Now, quote, they say, there's usually an uptick in respiratory infections in winter months. That's exactly what China said. This year is no exception. Dr. Jatin Yayas. How come none of these people... Anyway, Obviously, none of these people ever sound American to me. An infectious disease professor at Columbia. Although noro is not a respiratory virus, it is most documented during the winter and early spring. However, he said while patients with pre-existing respiratory conditions are at heightened risk of complications for the general public, there is no need for significant concern. Good. Can't forget the egg shortage, though, caused from bird flu, where they have to eradicate millions of chickens. No cases that have resulted in a human-to-human transmission thus far from bird flu, yet they continue to write nonstop articles about it. The media wants you afraid. Deeply. The World Health Organization representative office in China told Newsweek, as expected this time of year, there is a month-over-month increase in acute respiratory infections, including seasonal influenza, RSV, and HMPV. Sure. But why are hospitals overwhelmed, allegedly? I don't know. Is there a risk for a pandemic? Well, of course. By following standard guidelines promoted by healthcare providers and the CDC, including getting up-to-date jabs and boosters, that's the first thing they say. Then washing hands and isolating or maintaining appropriate distance when feeling ill, we feel there will be an average year for infectious disease among most of us. Well, thank God the CDC said that. Now, I'm no alarmist. I tend to just tell people, take your vitamins, stay away from sick people, keep your distance when you can, wash your hands a lot, practice good hygiene. These things, take your elderberry. These things generally, ever since I started taking like quercetin, elderberry, stuff like that, it's extremely rare that I'm sick, and I used to get sick 3 to 4 times a year. So I'm a big believer in that. Now, maybe it's all hooey, and maybe I'm on a lucky streak. That's possible. It felt like I was fighting something off during Christmas, but it never really got a full hold of me. And that's why, I kind of think it's from taking the vitamins and minerals and stuff. I've been remineralizing my water, all this kind of stuff, little stuff. But here we go. I mean, I'm not loving seeing all these pictures. I'm not loving it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.